Come on! Get your motor running. Head out on the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way. Hey, yeah, driving gonna make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. Like a true nature's child, we were born to be wild. We can climb so high, never wanna die. Born to be wild. Born to be wild. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, welcome back to Full Throttle TV in the Blackwater Products USA Truck Series. Tonight we're at Iowa Speedway for the Iowa 150. I'm Dean Doucette. In the booth with me, Mr. Brad Patterson. Brad, we got Iowa here. You know, a semi-short track, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. This is just a little bit over 3/4 of a mile at 0.88 mile track, but let me tell you, man, this is a little bit of a tricky track, different ends of the corners, a little bit of bumps in the road. So definitely not going to be an easy one tonight for these drivers.
No, it definitely will not be easy at all. Let's get right into our race info here. You see, once again, a nice, cool track for these guys to run on here at Iowa. Keys to the race, staying clean. I mean, we've seen it last week, I think it was, Claude Ferland, a leader for much of this year, doing a great job. We were talking up about staying clean and how persistent he was and how he moved up, but late carnage for him cost him big in the points. We also got corner number 3 and 4, getting through that corner. That's going to be some of your passing opportunities, or at least setting them up for 1 and 2. Could be going 2, 3, even 4 wide at times down there as possible. So it's going to be key to them. And pit stops, Iowa, Brad, very, very tricky little pit stop area.
Yeah, it really is. There's many times where I've seen people kind of think that they're going on pit road. Next thing you know, you're on the access road on the outside of pit road. So definitely a very tricky pit road here. And kind of like you were saying, it's corner 3 and 4, very difficult. You can have, like you said, 3, 4 wide, but don't be tricky. It all gets really narrow on the exit there as everybody kind of tends to go towards the high line on the exit.
Absolutely true. As we head into qualifying here, there'll be a 5-minute warm-up after qualifying. In practice, we've seen the guy we're watching, Brandon Elder, near the top of the board, and bam, up to the top of the board he goes. You got Langston in second. Richie Coy lays down the fastest lap right now. Jared Carr jumping up there. I mean, a lot of movement early on in the board here, Brad.
Yeah, these guys kind of went out, they were kind of going back and forth whether or not they really want to try to fire off and get that first lap and really do something, or they're going to save a little bit. As you see right there, Elder back to the top of the board. So obviously he was one of those guys that keyed in on that second lap.
He did. Nice to see the 51 up there leading currently. We check in on Brian Bliss, one of his teammates there in the 18. Let's see what he's got out here. Brian, a past champion. Of course, we got to look in on Bobby Terrell, the number 4, Brad. I mean, he has really taken over control of this series. And this is a man, built on patience, long run, staying clean, all those championship qualities that we always talk about.
No, absolutely. He is Mr. Consistency when it comes to that. Just take care of his equipment, make sure he's going to be there for the end of this race. Excuse me. And you see right there, right where he jumped right there on both the drivers that we were talking about, put him up towards the top.
Absolutely. Bobby Terrell on top. We just seen Brian Helm lose control of his truck. That could be a big problem for him. Last year's champion. Looking on Andrew Palicki. Looks like he's finishing up his lap. Part of Raging Moose. A little high there. A little trouble through the turn. And he's going to struggle a bit here. Ferland also looks like another poor qualifying for him, Brad. And Claude Ferland, I mean, for all his accolades, this season he's shown so well. Qualifying not particularly great as of late.
Absolutely not. Another person really struggling with qualifying. That's going to be the 23 of Brody Hanna. Was able to make 2 laps and did not get a single lap to count. A little bit of trouble on both of those laps. Even coming out of turn 2 on his 3rd lap, managed to spin the truck out. So Brody Hanna going to be starting at the rear of the field tonight, unable to get a qualifying time.
Wow, what a shame to see that from the 23.
What I don't think he's going to be alone back there. Tim Bills is currently back there. I don't see that he's actually attempted to make any laps yet. TJ Bartel, he's attempted to do 1 lap, hasn't been able to get a time down. So some big names towards the back of this field. It's 33 Sherwood Williford back there, and some good solid drivers.
Yeah, well, we talk about it a lot. The strength of field is very, very deep. I mean, 21st, Brian Helm, last year's champion. 22nd, Bernard Person, multi-champion himself. In 24th, Jeff Chandler, one of the fastest drivers out here. Sherwood Williford, perennial top 3 guy in 27th. You talked about Bills and Hannah. It's unbelievable, the guys that are at the back, and we just scratch the surface. There's others back there. Could actually produce some great racing, though, watching these guys come forward.
Absolutely. Tim Bills, looking at this, he had the fastest lap time out of anybody in practice with the 23.239. So he's got one fast race truck underneath him, but he hasn't even attempted to go out to make any qualifying laps. So starting towards the back of the field definitely will be Tim Bills as we're starting to wind the clock down, if you will, on this qualifying session.
We are, and what we're going to do is head to a commercial break. We come back, they'll be in warm-up and be almost ready to start the race, and we'll set our starting order. right, welcome back to Iowa Speedway, where we prepare for the Blackwater Products USA Iowa 150. Just in warm up here, and we see on the board, Troy Torgerson, Zach McDaniel up there, Helm up there. So the race sets, Hannah's getting up there. The race set's starting to come in, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys might not have had the best run during qualifying, but you're definitely seeing some of these guys come out. They're definitely going to be running very fast. So these guys continue to just get a little bit of warm up in, kind of find where their pit box is and get ready for a good show.
Speaking of getting ready for the show, let's ask everybody to rise up out of their seats, take their hats off, and listen to the singing of the national anthem by Alicia Shipman.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, almost set to go racing here. Let's take a quick look in on our championship points. We can see there Bobby Terrell has opened up a big 33-point lead. Coy right there, Nearad, Allen, Ferland, all within striking distance, along with Jared Carr. Got a couple of wins under his belt. Troy Torgensen, Kevin Rupert, Jolly, and Person, your top 10, as we see Helm kind of starting to come up towards the top there in 12th place. He is, as we're having a little temporary difficulty here. Just got to do a small correction here, Brad. All right, I think we got it all set here. And there we go. Our starting grid is up. Bobby Terrell on the pole tonight. Looking like he's going to have, he's going to be incredibly hard to beat starting out front. Brian Bliss, Biggie in the 18 will start on the outside of row number 1. Torgensen and Elder will be in row number 2. It's Coy and Allen in row 3. Row 4 going to be Carr and McDaniel, with Shoemaker and Nearad in your top 10.
that. It looks like a Blackwater outside lane right now in those top three positions.
Very interesting. Team dynamics can always come into play as we come through the corner here. Coming through four, that pace car going to pull off the track. Bobby Terrell going to lead him down to the start finish line. Green flag drops. Biggie on the outside with a decent jump, but it looks like Torgensen down low going to try and take second away. Up high, the 18 going to fight him off, I think. Big run on the outside.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great run. He's going to actually be able to pull right up alongside of the four, and this is where it's going to be. It's the four is going to have a little bit more of an advantage on the bottom. I think that 18 is going to be able to slide right in behind. It's going to leave that 98 still battling side by side with the 51.
Yeah, Brandon Elder, Troy Torgensen doing battle back here amongst a bunch of others as well.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are still two by two, very deep in the field. Looks like we had a little bit of problem right there. It looked like the Bush truck with the 37 of Brennan Turner getting a little bit loose on the bottom. He's going to give up quite a few spots as the battle for third is going to continue to heat up. As it's still Torgensen and Elder on the top side.
Absolutely, it is. Right now, looks like Elder going to prevail on that outside. I heard some talk around the garage about running that high line, and it's a little more stable up there. How is that going to play out throughout this race, Brad? As these guys try and run that low line and perhaps get a little bit loose on exit.
Yeah,
Oh, and there's Biggie's loose. Brian Bliss.
he's able to save it. Did not make any contact with that inside wall, so it won't be the end of the night for him, but he's definitely going to dig himself into a little bit of hole there.
Wow, Brian Bliss back down to 25th. Unbelievable. The 18 getting a little loose there. It's a great job of saving that truck, though.
No, it really was, and it just shows you, these guys up front, they're running so fast. They're right on that edge of control, a little bit loose, and it can just step out away from you. And that's how you got to run these trucks to really be one of the fast guys. Bobby Trail, some of the likes of them, Bobby and Troy and everybody, they make it look so easy, but it's just micro adjustments on that wheel and whatnot can be the end of your night.
Absolutely, they can be. So you see there, looks like Dale Nearad starting to make a move on Lane Allen as the 08 of Sylvain Jolly just got by Lane Allen. Big trouble back here. My goodness. Early damage and carnage. One of our keys to the race tonight. Stay clean. Not going to happen.
The 18 is in this as well.
Let's take a look in on the replay. Here's a 26, just coming through the corner. All looks well here. Oh, and Vrooman up high. I think that's Vrooman. I'm not sure. Yes, it is. He got loose there. Let's go back. See if we can't get another angle of this.
It's going to take out quite a few strong cars.
Let's take a look there. And the yellow car on your screen will just break loose there mid-corner. He comes around, down, gets into the 26. Up top, that's going to be Rupert in the 91, I think he collected there. That is awful stuff.
Yeah, 91's actually going to be Schultz.
Schultz, Kenneth Schultz, my apologies, getting collected. He will not be happy about that.
Yeah, Jeff Chandler also involved. He's had to retire already. Looks like we had a little bit of contact again with the 18 of Biggie. He got into it. So definitely some fast trucks, and it looks like the 18 smoking heavily. I believe the engine's expired on that.
See Brody Hanna in the pits, Turner, Helm, Held, Bliss, Schultz, Vrooman, all in. Not sure what Hanna, but maybe Hanna topping up here. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, he might have a little bit of right side damage, right front damage. I definitely didn't see the jack go up, so maybe either just a top off or just kind of check to see how much damage, if any, he really has. looks like the right side's got a little bit of damage, not much though.
As we forgot to turn the volume back up for this event. So you heard me, but probably not the Carnage and probably not Brad, but all sorted out here now.
You know, my wife's been trying to tune me out for years, and finally you solved how to do it.
It's easy. Tell her I can handle it. If only that was that easy.
No comment.
I'm
So,
sure a lot of relationships would be better off if there was a mute button. Anyway, the
guys,
Carnage up here, you know, Brad, when we look at that wreck, so, you know, we talk about, you know, these wrecks and trying to stay clean, but often what happens is a poor qualifying can put you back and put you in harm's way, especially when there's several of you, very fast cars back there. They want to come through, and it puts you in the danger zone. It's maybe not you that causes it, but you put some, say, a lesser skilled driver in a spot where he's not that comfortable, and the mistakes are made.
no, they really are, and it really shows just how much you really have to be on your game the entire time. I mean, you know, you have a bad qualifying and you're back there in the back, if you will, with some lesser drivers, if you will, or you even make a mistake on the track. You know, we saw right there with Brian Bliss. You know, qualified outside row, got loose, got, you know, shuffled to the back, and ultimately he was in that incident as well. You know, the likes of Jeff Chandler. You know, he's already had to retire tonight.
Oh, and they're wrecking under caution.
They are.
What is happening back there?
The 37 and the 29.
It's going to be Brendan Turner.
Well, the 29 decided he was going to drive up the middle for some reason.
Very odd turn of events there, going to cause damage for these guys. But we're back to green flag racing up front. It's Terrell and Elder doing battle up here. Elder.
A little bit of roll reversal here. Earlier we saw the 51 being the bottom feeder, and we saw the 4 running the top. It's going to be interesting to see as the 51's going to work his way back to the bottom. Seems like his truck really likes us. We're 3 wide behind him with the 42, the 19, and the 7.
Action all over. Battle up front and mega battles behind them, as it looks like Terrell going to solve that out. We look back to the 42 of Zach McDaniel. He's underneath a Coy. You got Jolly underneath a Carr. And behind them, more people underneath more people.
Yeah, one thing they're not doing is definitely taking their time. They know when the tires are going to give up, and they're probably not going to have a whole lot of handling capabilistic. So they're going to go ahead and try to get everything they can out of it right now.
Absolutely. These guys are not holding back out here at all. So we continue with Zach McDaniel underneath the Sylvain Jolly. Jared Carr way up the track there through 3 and 4.
Yeah, believe it or not, this track really runs like a short track, especially with the fact that you're going to have to jump on your brakes a lot of the time, especially as we go into these deeper runs. So it's very easy to overrun the corner, as we saw right there. Dale Nearad, a little mistake. He's down on the apron coming out of 2 there. He's going to lose a lot of spots.
Yeah, Dale Nearad way at the back of the pack. We can't even get a visual on him.
And he went from 9th to about 27th is where he's going to shake out.
Back here, the first battle is going to be Coy underneath the 08 of Jolly. These guys really slugging it out here. That high line really prevailing here tonight so far.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, there's battles all over this place right there. I hate to cut away, but back here, we're going to have the 83 of Jason Spear. He's doing battle with the 44 of Ferland on the exit of 2 on the last lap. Those two actually got together a little bit. That put the 83 sideways, put the 83 a little bit further back in the field as a correction. That was the 83 and the 66 kind of getting a little bit together. And it's just battling, very close battles all over this racetrack as you see somebody like to the likes of the 77 and Tim Bills trying to make his way through this.
Yeah, Bills is in there. Person ahead of this group. It's, Shoemaker and Ferland, Bills and Spear, Langston in this mix. These guys are battling really hard as it looks like Person now is fighting. Oh, they're thinking about 3 wide with Lane Allen and Joe Flanagan there. Pepto Joe in the 53.
I mean, it's so difficult. I mean, you can get caught up where you get to the position on the bottom.
I think he cut out again, Brad, as we're looking in on this battle still. Person probably going to win this
right now.
Yeah, he cut out again, Brad. I'm sorry, but mid-thought. I'm sure you had a great thought, but we missed a lot of it. So we continue to watch Flanagan here as he battles. Looks like Person already through Torrey in the 2, now looking to come up here and battle as well. We got to check in up front, though, as I believe it looks like Bobby Terrell checking out here. Brandon Elder hanging on to second with Troy Torgensen chasing. Then it's Jolly and Carr starting to do battle.
Yeah, Jolly's been working his way up. Started from the 12th position, currently up to the 4th. Made up 8 spots, and then you're going to have the 19 of Richie Coy working it. And then you're going to have that old 42 of Zach McDaniel. Zach McDaniel, no stranger to Iowa or these trucks, a very accomplished racer. You see those guys really working the bottom, where the likes of the 08 of Jolly a little bit higher up the racetrack.
Yeah, and that's something that, iRacing has made some changes there. But you see Zach McDaniel really diving down on the low side through 3 and 4. And it looks like he's going to make up ground. But, when the lap time is finished, he's really not, Brad.
No, absolutely. And the biggest thing is what effect is running these different lines really do to your tires at the end of this thing? Is running the bottom going to save some tire, if you will, running the top? As the run goes on, that's what's going to be very interesting to see which one's the best strategy to be able to actually pull this off for the long run.
Absolutely, it is. We're on lap 24 of 150. Of course, 3 sets of tires in the garage for these guys. The fuel mileage probably in the 80s, Brad, and it's going to be interesting. It's a one-stopper here, and that's, I think, what everybody's thinking. Only cautions will dictate anything different. As McDaniel still looking inside of Coy. Coy not quite going all the way up there. He's trying to hold him off.
Yeah, he really is, but you know what that's doing is look behind him. You got that 25 of Terry Cooper slowly making his way up, and really it's kind of a logjam in front of him. And that's one thing that this track will do. You just get caught on that bottom, you can't accelerate out, and you just sit there and you have to just ride to the inside. You can't complete the pass, and the guys behind you start making up time.
Absolutely, it does. Everybody adjusting their line to more protective style of racing. As we look at Brandon Elder starting to fade a bit here. And, Brandon will tell you himself, really struggling on the long run still. He does have short run speed. He needs more of a shootout style race, and that's what he's hoping for. But he's fighting back here. There's no give up in the 51.
No, absolutely. But that is one thing that truck has been this entire race. He's been on the bottom of the racetrack. He hasn't really gone to the top side, hasn't really been working anything. He's been working the bottom the entire time. So this could be one of those situations where the bottom of the racetrack is going to be the portion of the track that's going to wear out those tires or just not work as well as the race goes on.
See the different lines there, especially behind these guys where you got Carr, Coy, and McDaniel all kind of entering the corner, especially 3 and 4 are just a little bit different.
Yeah, if we could actually possibly jump on board there at the 25 of Terry Cooper Jr. and just get a bird's eye view, if you will, of the battle in front of them as they go into the corner, and you just see everybody kind of just spread out. And it gives you really a different view as far as how much the track really narrows up on the exit of the corners, but at the same time, how much these guys really go out and have different angles of attack going through these corners.
You see here, like 1 and 2, everybody very similar, a little different on exit, but watch here as we enter into 3. You can see Coy a little bit different, and Terry's kind of medium. The other two a little bit higher up the track, but very interesting. And you talked about it, Brad. The dynamics here are really, what is it doing to your car for the long run?
Yeah, absolutely. And that us a good example there. We had seen the 42 on the bottom, and now all of a sudden the 19 is going to go to the bottom, and that could be one of those deals where it's kind of a trade-off. You can heat those tires up possibly on the bottom, as the 42 is going to try to get to the bottom. The 19 again is actually going to be able to pull side by side down the front stretch. So the 42 is definitely going to have the position going into 1 and 2. Whether or not he's going to be able to put the power down to complete the pass is another story.
As we look ahead now from McDaniel's truck, and Jared Carr trying to make a move on the 51 of Brandon Elder, and you can just see still, we'll go back to Terry Cooper's, the way they fan out, they're all over this track in 3 and 4.
Yeah, they really are. There's just nowhere to be on the exit. I mean, the top side will get that run right back as the 42 continues to try to work that bottom. He just doesn't have as the 51 maybe got the wall right there.
He's holding it up there. Great job of holding that truck up there and allowing everybody to go by, but that's so unfortunate for Brandon Elder.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to bring it down to pit road right now. Get some service to that machine, but very close call for everybody, especially as close as we're running with a pack like this. And, look at it now, the 77, Tim Bell started very deep in this field, started 28th. Put him right now up into the 8th position. He looks good. He's moving forward.
He is moving forward. Past champion, of course, Bernard Person has joined this group as we got a 6-truck battle here, and they are really slugging it out.
Going to be very difficult. This is where you talked about it earlier, the pre-race. Patience is going to be everything getting through this.
Absolutely it is. I mean, you got to go. You want to win the race. You got to get up there, but you got to be smart about it. You don't want to throw away your whole race. As Cooper now moving past, thinking about trying to pass Jared Carr, not able to get it done. 77 thinking about taking the high side. 25 closes that door.
It is so frustrating being that car on the bottom. You go into the corner, you gain so much speed, you gain so much distance, but you just need a little bit of an inch or two to be able to slide up in front of that car. You just don't get it. So it looks like 77 thinking about putting it 3 wide. He's going to try to do the undercut, try to get underneath him. Instead, he's going to fall in line right behind the 25. Nope, we're going to be 3 wide going into 1.
3 wide here through 1 and 2. It's a 25 in the middle. That's 77 looking really good. Carr fighting back on the outside. We're going to stay 3 wide down into 3. Unbelievable action. Bills looks like he is hooked up, but he has no racing room. We continue 3 wide back into 1.
And that just shows you just don't have the room to be able to excel out of the corner. 25 going to have to check up just a little bit. That's going to allow the 77 to come up in line right there. That's going to be all he needs. I think he's going to be able to get by the 7 here in 3 and 4.
It looks like Bernard Person looking to capitalize here, trying to follow Bills through. The 25 gets up there, shuts the door on the 7, so he's going to move up a spot. But it's Bills looking like the best of the bunch here. Hard to say for certain.
Yeah, we're starting to get a little chatter in the race room, if you will. Drivers starting to lose a little bit of a temper, a little bit of something going on there between the 25 and the 7, if you will. So we continue to race on the 8. Bernard Person going to be able to make his way by the 7 and the 19. He's going to set his sights now on that 25 of Terry Cooper Jr.
Wow. Temper's starting to flare here at Iowa already. Looking back up front, Bobby Terrell now with a commanding lead. He's almost 2 seconds up from Troy Torgensen. Sylvain Jolly has moved up to 3rd place, up 9 spots on the night. Zach McDaniel up to 4th place. Then is Tim Bills up 23 spots, Brad.
Tim Bill's having a great run. We saw it, we noted it early. Didn't get any type of a qualifying lap in. It started at the rear of the field. He was fortunate enough to get through that first incident without any type of damage, kind of reset. That kind of took a couple of trucks out of his way, but he has been on fire and just been moving through this field. One of the fastest truck there in practice, so it's going to be very interesting to see as he catches some of these cars that are a little bit quicker, as he sets his sights currently on that 42 of Zach McDaniel.
Yeah, Bills is definitely catching, but also on the move. Bernard Person, as he looks underneath the 25 of Terry Cooper Jr. Coy is right there, and Person looking really racy here at Iowa tonight.
Yeah, he really is, and give the benefit to everybody, that 44 o'clock Ferland too. Not making the headway, if you will, that the 77 and the 8 is, but doing exactly what he needs to do to try to claw himself back into this championship fight. Currently up 9 positions in the 10th place, and it looks like he's actually starting to make a little bit of strides on the 7 in front of him.
Well, let's cover a few of these guys here with big movers back here. You got Langston in the 01 heading up this large group. He's up 15 spots on the night. Somewhere in this pack is the 33 of Sherwood Williford. He's up 13 spots and looking to take more. Man, are they racing 3 wide action here. Torrey and the 40 of TJ Bartel.
Yeah, right to the inside of that is going to be Sherwood Williford. Behind that, you're going to have that 03 of Dale Nearad. Dale Nearad did have some connection issues, so he's going to have a lot fresher tires. He's going to be trying to work his way down around the bottom of the racetrack with the best amount of grip. And you're also going to have the 23 of Brody Hanna in there. These guys are still racing extremely hard as the 40 tries to get by the 33. Tries to get clear there. It's not going to quite fall in line. He's going to have to fall in line as the 2 is going to fall in line right behind the 40 of TJ.
I mean, man, Brad, I knew we'd see some 2 wide and some 3 wide, but I didn't expect it like this. Tons of 3 wide action tonight. These guys are really racing hard and doing a great job. As it looks like Torrey, something has gone wrong with Torrey. Or is he just popping in and out of, he's having a little connection issue?
Yeah, a little bit of connection issue. You see right there that everybody just kind of be a little bit mindful of that. If you were following him before, if you will, you see the likes of 23 of Hannah. He's going to go to the bottom. He's going to try to work his way by him. And that's one of those things that can really disrupt your momentum. You get a car all of a sudden and start sparking or kind of throwing up a little bit of smoke in front of you, especially when you've been running as close as you are on this track. That could definitely break up your momentum as we see that exactly doing. But the battle continues in front of him right there with TJ Bartel in that 40. Still working on the top side of Sherwood Williford. He's going to try, it looks like, to get around the top side of the 53 of Joe Flanagan even.
He's going to try and find an extra top side. TJ always loving the high line. Let's check a little further up the field here. The progress. You got Bernard Person and Richie Coy. Richie Coy looking racy as he's trying to come underneath the 8 of Bernard Person. Ahead of them, Tim Bills. And then it's a ways up to Zach McDaniel. You got Sylvain Jolly. He's got some lap traffic he's fighting with, but he's closing in here on second place, Troy Torgensen.
Yeah, he really is. And he's doing it using kind of that middle of the racetrack. You really see him closing on the entry, especially there in 3 and 4. A little bit loose, definitely there. Going back on the front stretch, it seems like the truck just doesn't agree with him through 1 and 2. It looks like the 98's a little bit better in 1 and 2, but look at the entry here coming up on 3 and 4. The 08's really able to make up a lot of ground.
Absolutely, he is. He's doing great here. Sylvain Jolly hasn't got a lot of airtime, mainly because his teammate, Claude Ferland, was leading the points so much, so he took up a lot of that team's, juice, if you will, Brad. But Sylvain Jolly, man, for a rookie especially, he's been showing good all year long.
He absolutely has. He's one of those guys that, it seems that he does very well on short tracks. When we went to USA, he was one of the guys that was really impressive, running good lap times and running up close to the front of this field. So I'm not exactly surprised seeing him somewhere here on like an Iowa or something like that, really putting in the lap times and really doing a great job. As he's right there. He's on the back of the 98. It's only going to be a matter of time. It's going to be a matter of who makes the mistake first.
I tell you, man, it's tough to pass, and it's tough to pass the likes of Troy Torgensen, high-quality driver. Out front, Bobby now 2.5 seconds up, so Bobby Terrell, our points leader, continuing out here as he's coming up on lap traffic here. He's got the 37 right in front of him. We talk about lap traffic a lot, Brad, and what kind of influence. I didn't think the 37 would have much influence there, but as he gets up to more and more lap traffic, what kind of things should he look out for, and trying to get through these? He does have a decent lead.
He absolutely does. I mean, he has a great lead right now. He's got a little bit of cushion, but one of the problems with this is as a leader, you always want to have the preferred line, but at the same time, when you get to certain tracks like this, sometimes the slower car, they're struggling. They have to have that line in order to just get around the track, if you will. And that's one of those things he's got to worry about. As right now, we're going to close in on about lap 54. So we estimated about, 80 laps, if you will, for a tank of fuel. So strategy could play into effect here before too long on whether or not one of these guys wants to go ahead and kind of roll that dice and pit early.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, pit stop window is getting close to opening up here. Another 15 laps or so. We look in on the battle for second. Behind them, Zach McDaniel in third. And it's Tim Bills who did all that work moving up through the field. Bernard Person has come right with him. He's got a big dent in his bumper, but it's not slowing him down. Person looking like he might be fastest on the track right now. Matter of fact, let's go in and look in our last lap times here. We see Person with a 24.82 matching our race leader. So it's our leader and Bernard Person, the two fastest guys on the track right now.
I don't think that's necessarily any type of surprise. You know, we know both of those gentlemen are good long run cars. Generally, they're going to go through the entire race and really take care of their equipment. They know how to manage their tires. And that's exactly what you're seeing right now. Bobby Terrell managing his tires, Bernard Person managing his tires. It makes me wonder if Bernard was able to actually start a little bit closer to the front of the field, what exactly we would have. You know, it could be one of those situations where, I'm not going to say it, but a caution could really change everything and put some of these guys that are really fast closer together.
Yeah, well, I mean, Bills and Person and Jolly in particular have made big moves, as does our former point leader, Claude Ferland. He's moved up into 9th place. Terry Cooper up into 8th place. So, yeah, we re-racked these, and you're going to have a much different look than you did at the start of the race.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to sit there and think, you know, coming from 28th and 22nd back, you know, a lot of tire needed to be used to get through those cars.
Here comes Jolly down to the inside of the 98 through 3 and 4. It's going to be a race to the start-finish line. Torgensen going to power off on the high side. Jolly just can't quite get there. I think if he had a little, you know, free air or clean air, if you will, that he would be a little better than the 98 right now, Brad.
Yeah, he really needs to have about a quarter panel, if you will, on exit of these corners, because the bottom line just doesn't have enough of it. I don't think, you know, he's not going to have enough power to get clear. If he can just get to that quarter panel, I think he'll be all right. But the way it's running right now, he's got to worry more about the 42 coming up behind him, I think, than he does trying to get around the 98 on the bottom.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the problem, isn't it? You struggle and you struggle to pass. If he stays down there now, the 42 might take the high side, but they fan out 3 different lines here through 3 and 4.
You see on exit, they pretty much all file back right into one line. So, and that's exactly what you need, because you got to be able to put the throttle all the way down, and you got to be able to really let it drift all the way up to that top line to really be able to have it. If not, you're going to have to kind of pedal it, if you will. And the moment you start pedaling it, that guy on the outside, he's just going to start driving away.
Little update from one of the all-time greats here at Full Throttle Sim Racing, Casey McMullen Sr., letting us know that Sherwood Williford out here on sitting in 13th spot is making his 400th career start tonight.
Oh man, that's a milestone. I mean, I don't care what series you're in or whatever you're doing. You know, 400 series starts is a very impressive. And you know, to think about it, you know, 400 races into it and being competitive for the majority of those. Even tonight, you know, come back from the 27th position, currently running the 13th. You know, Sherwood is one of those guys that you can't sleep on him.
Can never sleep on the 33. He can come at you. He can come on the long run. He can come on the short run. We've seen him do it all. We've affectionately named him Mr. Top 10. I mean, just incredible. With 400 starts, he's probably got 399 top 10s, Brad.
I wouldn't put it past him. You know, one thing he's always done very well is he's just been a very respectable driver. You know, back up front, though, the 4th position is heating up right now. You're going to have Zach McDaniel working to the bottom, like we talked about, of that 0-8 of Sylvan Jolly as they're continuing to battle it out. It looks like the 8 of Bernard Persons, he's actually caught back at the 77 as well. So this top 5 is not settled by any stretch of the imagination as our leader continues to get up into lap traffic.
Yeah, this is not settled. Nothing is settled as of now. Bobby Terrell continues to lead, fighting through all this lap traffic. This is where it gets very dangerous for him. Might slow him down a bit too. 2nd place, Troy Torgensen. Jolly settling into 3rd. Well, not settling in. He's got Zach McDaniel all over him as they fight for 3rd and 4th spot. Tim Bills and Bernard Person now battling. Person down to the inside, looking to take 5th place away from the 77.
Person trying to get the grip that he needs on the exit of the corner. This is exactly what he needed. He came off level and even, and that right there, I think is going to be advantage person in that 8 car on the bottom. Going into 3 here, as long as he's able to get it, you see he had to kind of slow it down just a little bit to make sure he had it. He's not able to extend himself all the way to the wall. That's going to bring the 77 back into the picture here. It's going to be one of those things that you really have to fight to be able to pull the slide job, and you hate to do it, to kind of throw a little bit of block on your competitor. But that's exactly what this racetrack requires to be able to get that position done.
It does, and I think he'll get it here as the 8, just a little stronger. He rolls the center of the corner so good. It's one of his strengths. I mean, it's just amazing sometimes to watch how he does roll the center of the corner. So put Bernard Person up into the top 5 here in 5th place. And all that early speed from Bills is still there, but I mean, it's Person right now who's got the speed.
Yeah, absolutely. He was able to be just a little bit further ahead up the field, if you will. It didn't have to quite necessarily race as hard, if you will, going through the field. What's going to be very interesting, though, is, we had on that first caution, we had several guys come down and take a little bit of extra fuel. That was the likes of 23 of Brody Hanna. Brody Hanna currently not having the race he wanted, showing 18 seconds back, but it makes you kind of wonder, are they banking on a little bit of strategy? We know everybody's going to have to come down and pit. We were assuming about 80 laps. So right now, essentially, green flag stops are available, but you will go down, I believe, 2 laps just by making a green flag pit stop.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, your window is open. Now, what do you think about that, Brad? What if you're sitting in, say, 10th place? Claude Ferland, for instance, is in 10th place right now. Do you get out here, get out a sequence, and take a shot that maybe a caution comes out at the right time and you're gained a ton of spots?
I got to sit here. Honestly, I'm looking at the scoreboard. I'm thinking Jared Carr in 7th, currently 10th. A little bit about almost 15 seconds back. That's where you start. If you're going for the win, you have to try it. That's where you have to start, and you have to try to be able to do that. If you think you got a strong enough race car, that's where you got to start. I think anybody in the top 9, if you will, they're within reach. You got to run the same race as Bobby Terrell, because if the caution comes out, you're right back in the thick of it. A lot of these guys came from far back in the field. They've made up a lot of distance to get there. But if you're somebody like Jared Carr down, 15 seconds down, we're doing 24-second lap time. So you're 10 seconds off going a lap down. Keep the 10 seconds in your pocket. Use that to your advantage to get the tires.
Yeah, I mean, on the reverse end of that, I mean, we got Casey McMullen out here watching the race. I would think, what would Casey do? Well, Casey would probably run that tank dry. So he'd probably go maybe try and get to 90 laps. I don't know if it's even possible. But both ends of the thing, I mean, I like a lot better than playing follow the leader. You know how I feel about that. But right now, the leader, Bobby Terrell, in lap traffic here. He has almost a 4-second lead, Brad.
Yeah, he absolutely does, and he's starting to get into some better drivers as far as that lap traffic goes. He's working right now. It looks like he's going to have a 91 of Kenneth Schultz on the top side. He had a little bit of damage earlier, but right in front of that, you're going to have the likes of James Torrey, the 26 of Brian Helms. Series defending champion. He's already currently 1 lap down. He's going to be looking at going 2 laps down here, so that kind of tells you just how much of a competitive race this is tonight, and just how hard this racetrack really is.
Absolutely correct. Very difficult track. Very different. It's usually long runs here too. This battle keeps raging on for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It's Jolly, McDaniel, and Person slugging it out.
Yeah, a little bit further back in the field, though. I'm gonna sit there and kind of put the spotlight again on that 33 of Sherwood Williford. He's gonna have right behind him. He's gonna have the 83 of Jason Spear. In front of him, you're gonna have the 33, as it looks like the 2 of James Torrey. He's gonna go ahead and take this advantage right now. Just went a lap down, had nothing to lose. He's gonna come to pit road, try to get himself 4 fresh tires, and try to turn the tables on tonight.
in on our pit stop. We are having a little bit of problem
Oh,
with our app
absolutely.
here.
No, absolutely. I'm looking at it right now, and James Torrey did exactly what we talked about in pre-race. Tried to get down to pit road and actually missed pit road, got on the service road. So, again, shows you just how difficult of a racetrack this is to get on pit road. It sounds like I'm hearing that the 25, Terry Cooper Jr., first one of our top 10 coming to pit road now.
Yeah, it looks like he's got company as well. Spears on, Shoemaker, Flanagan are on pit road, Ferland's on pit road. Ferland actually, I think he's coming off of pit road right now.
Yeah, Torgensen to pit road, Bernard to pit road, the 77 to pit road, Sylvan Jolly to pit road. So everybody, the green flag is up and everybody is coming down. They want 4 fresh tires.
Absolutely, they do. So
Terrell.
Here comes Bobby now. The 4, the race leader, is in. Nice and safely in here. That's going to be in McDaniel right behind him. So McDaniel doing a nice job closing in. That's going to hand over the race lead to the 7 of Jared Carr.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was watching those pit stops come to happen, and nobody did it better than the 77. Tim Bill's made up a huge amount of time coming to pit road that time on his competitors.
So we'll keep an eye on that.
Give it just a second to shake it out with timing and scoring and see exactly where everybody's going to just kind of fall in line here. Looks like that's going to be the 7 of Jared Carr continuing to lead. He got the lead for the pit stops. He's continuing to circle around this track as the guys around him come out with fresh tires.
Absolutely. We look in on Josh Mayhew running that car for Casey McMullen. He is in second right now. Hannah in third.
Caution.
And caution has come out. The nightmare has happened. Or the blessing for some. Carr, Mayhew, and Hannah are going to benefit hugely from this caution.
Yeah, somebody else is going to benefit greatly. It's actually going to be that 25 of Terry Cooper Jr. He was the first of our lead lap cars coming to pit road, and it looks like he will be our lucky dog. So Terry Cooper Jr. definitely in the right place at the right time right now.
Now, Brad, we don't know what happened. Do you see what happened on the track here?
I got to find it.
Let's just take a little look in here and see if we see anything. You see Jolly coming around here. There's a 29.
83.
So the 83 of Jason Spear, riding with him and not seeing anything quite yet. Oh, and there he is, all alone. Breaks loose on him. No real damage. He just saves it and comes out. And a caution does come out. Oh, my God.
And this will definitely reset the field. You know, we had the likes of like Brody Hanna, we talked about it earlier, had not came to pit road, had a little bit of extra fuel in that machine. Jared Carr, he was continuing to stay on the racetrack. You know, he's going to be able to come down and get 4 fresh tires. Josh Mayhew, and then we're going to be back to our front runners of Bobby Terrell, Troy Torgensen, Sylvan Jolly. So it will definitely put these guys on a much closer footing, if you will, as well as give some people like Jared Carr and Josh Mayhew a new set of life, if you will.
Yeah, well, we see the pit stops. Bobby Terrell on lap 80. Torgensen and Jolly on 79. McDaniel on 80. You got to go back a bit, and we can see Carr on 83. Mayhew 83. Hannah 83. So not the huge advantage, but it has changed these guys' races. You know, they were effectively back beyond 15th place, some of them.
And what that will do is by Jared Carr coming to pit road, that will give, it looks like we're going to end up now with 21 cars on the lead lap, I believe, once the wave around happens.
Looks like you got Ferland Person trapped here. Wow, is that painful for Bernard Person. Getting trapped here, having to take a wave around. Langston, Bartel in here, Flanagan's in here, Williford's in here. I mean, there's going to be a ton of guys getting a wave around by the looks of it.
Yeah, the big one you got to look out for is somebody like a Spear. You know, he's trapped in that same group, but we know he has not come to pit road yet, I believe. So he's going to have to actually come down and get tires. There's no way he's going to be able to make it the rest of the way. So he will, I believe, be one lap down.
Very interesting here. I can't believe what we just witnessed here in lap 86 at 150, and the whole thing has been shooken on its head. Not only is Bobby going to have to deal with some different cars up here, some very fast trucks, especially early in the run. You're going to have a lot of other guys like Mayu and Hannah and Cooper and with, you know, better tires, and we'll see how they fare.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because, you know what, this also gives a little bit of new life, if you will, to that 26 of Brian Helm. You know, Brian had a little bit of damage early on. He's currently showing one lap down. He's not necessarily going to get back on the lead lap this time, but he will have more cars that he'll be able to race with and then possibly get himself in a situation where he can get that lucky dog to get back on the lead lap.
All right, man. Like to back on the pace car. We're not going green this time. We
wait this one out here as everybody gets a wave around. Not sure why they took an extra lap
I think it's just to let everybody get around due to the amount of cars with the wave around here.
Yeah, it just seemed like a late wave around. I mean, an iRacing deal, not an admin thing. Very strange how and when they did that wave around. Nonetheless, it'll be Terrell and Torgensen, Jolly McDaniel, Bills and Coy. Then you got some new tires of Carr, Mayu, Hannah, and John Held showing up in the top 10 now.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching for that 77 Tim Bills. We saw what he did early on, his short run speed. He was able to really manage him very well. So it's going to be interesting to see now that he doesn't have to get by 25 cars to get up here. See what he'll have.
Also interesting tonight. We've got another fan over on Facebook watching this race, watching Jolly and Ferland. I'm sure Richie as well, rooting them on and wishing them well. And of course, Sylvain Jolly doing a heck of a job here tonight.
Here we get ready to go again. You know, we're going to see a lot of 2 and 3 wide, especially early on. We know we're going late in this run. We're on lap 88 coming to 89. These guys are only going to have about 60 laps to get it done, so they know what they have on right now on their trucks with the exception of a caution. This is what they got.
This is what they got indeed. Here we go. Pace car is off.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is down. It's Terrell on the inside. Torgensen up high. Jolly trying to take away second spot.
That 4 got an excellent jump. He's actually going to be able to clear. It looks like Jolly's going to actually try to sneak on by there, try to get by the 98 as well. He's going to have the 77 to deal with as we get here into 3.
Definitely. Tim Bill's got that, you know, better short run speed. Not bad on the long run either. Carr with those fresh tires. Oh, and McDaniel's aware. He's in the car. And they're down and out. My goodness, that's going to hurt. Zach McDaniel breaking loose there. Let's get a quick replay on that action. You see Carr here, we're following him up ahead of them on the high side there. The 42 just breaks loose on exit, comes down into the 7. Not heavy damage for these guys, but all that track position is over.
Absolutely, and that's really the biggest thing. You know, Jared Carr made an excellent strategy move staying out a little bit later, and it paid off. He was able to get 4 fresh tires. He had the best tires of everybody around him and put himself in really a good striking position. But ultimately now, all for nothing, going to be at the back of this field. should be able to come in, and I don't know if he's going to come in and get 4 fresh tires or whatnot, but this will definitely open it up for somebody like the 83 and Spear to be able to come get 4 fresh tires, and some of those guys that went ahead and took the wave around.
Wow, unbelievable action here. So I'm going to step away for a short minute here while we're under caution here. We'll put you up on our leader, and I'll be right back.
All right, we continue to pace right now. Currently, we're going to show the 4 truck of Bobby Terrell. He's going to continue to be our race leader. Behind him, you're going to have the 08 of Sylvan Jolly. The 98 of Troy Torgerson is going to line up in our 3rd position. Tim Bills in that 77. He's going to be currently shown 4th. Richie Coy, 5th. Josh Mayu in that 71 is going to be 6th. Brody Hanna up to the 7th position from starting 32nd. Claude Ferland in that 44 is going to be 8th. Jeff Langston in the 01 will be 9th. Bernard Person 10th. That's going to be our top 10 going into this, what we assume will be our final restart. These guys continue on. It looks like pace lights on this lap will go out, and we'll have 1 to go, setting us up for, it looks like, going to be about a 56 lap shootout to the end here. Bobby Terrell has definitely been the truck to go up against tonight. Will he have enough? Sylvan Jolly going to be finally starting on the outside of the front row, so he's been challenging all night and trying to get exactly where he's at, so it's going to be interesting to see. But he's going to have Troy Torgerson behind him on the inside, and he's going to have the 77 and Tim Bills. We've seen him all night be extremely fast, currently up 24 positions. Will he have enough to try to be able to get by Sylvan Jolly and challenge the 4 of Bobby Terrell for the lead?
Man, Brad, I'm glad I made it back for this. I don't want to miss this restart. Unbelievable action here tonight.
Absolutely, and pace car's getting ready to duck out right now.
All right, here we go. Terrell and Jolly, Torgerson and Bills.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag, waves. Looks like Jolly did a nice start on the top. He's going to come side by side down into 1. Bills right there with him.
Much better start from the outside lane right there. Is 08 of Sylvan Jolly is going to be even. They're going to be even going into 3 and 4. Sylvan on the top. You're going to have the 4 on the bottom. And Sylvan is going to drive it in extremely deep and try to keep the top side moving.
And that was really smart, I think. Going to hold off Bobby from being able to extend.
All right,
There's
man,
still,
caution is out.
and we got another caution.
We can't find what exactly happened here on this latest caution. Looks like it's going to be involved. The 91 of Kenneth Schultz is going to be involved.
Let's have a quick look in on that 91.
Oh, Zach McDaniel's actually again involved all by himself.
And it's going to collect the 91. Let's get a look in on McDaniel here. Going to back this up. I wonder if there's any retribution. I doubt it, but let's
Nah,
see
I
what
don't think
happens in
so.
the 42 here. Again, loose, same spot. He collects the 2, comes up and gets into someone there, and then Schultz, man, unfortunate again for Schultz.
Absolutely. I think that truck is just so loose on fresh tires. Because remember, they still have fresh tires. Essentially, we've had 2 laps green flag, essentially, and the trucks are just so wicked loose early in these runs because they got to set them up, essentially, for the long run.
So during all that mayhem, we seen it live. Jolly took the lead away from Bobby Terrell. So put the 08 on the point here. Now, Brad, looking ahead, we've seen what's happening. Does he still take the inside, or perhaps does he take that outside lane?
Man, that's so tough. I mean, are you worried about the 4, or are you more worried about the, excuse me, or are you more worried about the 77? That's really the question.
Lots of questions. That's a big one for sure. We see McDaniel on pit road, Turner, Cooper Jr., Spear is on pit road. So these guys taking tires here, I believe. And this could play interesting as well. They got a ton of work to do, but this race far from over.
And just kind of elaborate on your question there. I think I'm going to take the inside. I know I'm going to have the 77 behind me. And as long as I get a better restart than the 4 does, I think I'm clear. The question is whether or not the 77 gets clear. Because I think if the 77 gets clear and they're running 1-2 down that backstretch, you could easily have 3 wide going into 3.
Absolutely, you could. And yeah, I like the low side. I always do, especially through 1 and 2. You should be able to get through there clean and faster. But I don't know, the way the high side's been running lately, it's a tough choice to say the least.
Yeah, it really is. And Bobby's in different, the 4 truck's in a little bit of different, he's been out front all night. He's dictated the restart every single time. Now all of a sudden he finds himself, waiting on the leader. So, don't put it past him. Bobby's a cagey veteran, and this isn't something new to him, but that could just be that slight advantage that the 08 needs.
It could. So impressed by the 08 of Jolly tonight. It's Jolly, Terrell, Bills, Torgensen, Coy. Then you got Josh Mayhew on that fresher rubber from that earlier incident. And it's Ferland. Hannah's got that fresher rubber. Person. And you got Jeff Langston, one of our rookies, rounding out the top 10.
A good recovery from the 7 of Jared Carr there. He was involved in that last incident. Fell all the way back to, I believe, 22nd, 23rd. He's made his way back up to 15th. Does have some of the freshest rubber on the track, I believe. So Carr continuing to battle his way back from on that unfortunate incident involved with himself in the 42.
Yeah, Jared had been having a bit of a rough night. We heard him involved with some chatter earlier on, I think, with Terry Cooper, and then he had that incident there with Zach McDaniel. And so it has not been an easy night for the 7, but he is persevering here in 15th right now.
Yeah, I just make sure we're clear. He had no part in any of the incident. He was an innocent bystander, if you will, with the 42. So just one of those deals, racing incidents where he's going to continue to pluck around and try to salvage a good top 10 finish. And he's halfway there right now. Like I said, currently back up to the 15th position and in pretty good shots.
Absolutely correct. He hasn't done anything wrong. Just one of those nights so tough. We've seen that actually from Schultz too in the 91. He's been really battling, man. He's had hard luck tonight as well. But here we go. Pace car is not coming off quite yet. We'll wait one more corner here.
Takes so long.
I'm just so ready to get going here. We are on lap 101 of 150, and it's going to heat up here.
Green, green, green.
Green flag has dropped, and we are back. Green flag racing. It's Jolly and Terrell. Here comes Tim Bills.
Yeah, Sylvan Jolly did not get the restart he really wanted. It looks like he actually hesitated a little bit. That's going to actually give the Ford, not necessarily the lead, but it's going to give him a good shot. He's going to be all by himself. Tim Bills actually had to fall off just a little bit. I don't think Tim Bills necessarily likes that bottom, as a caution is out again.
My goodness.
It's going to be back with the 96s involved. Let's see who else. It's the 83.
Definitely looks like the 96 is involved. I'm showing several guys involved. We'll get a look in on this.
Looks like it actually starts with the 83.
It looks like it's up ahead of that. The 33, I might be on the wrong one. Brody Hanna tumbling down the track. I'm pretty sure this is the right incident here.
And now I think that, okay, so we actually had two incidents on the same lap, if you will. The 23, that incident happens on the exit of 4, where the 83 actually happens in the middle of 3, if you will.
Yeah, and it looked like we had even 2 within the one we were looking at. Let's get a look in on what you're talking about. And I don't know if we can pick it up, but we're gonna try here.
The 83 was just a self-spin.
So the 83 is self-spin there, and he's going to collect someone there with some heavy damage. But up in front of him, my goodness, is Brody Hanna okay? Someone check in on that man. He was bouncing all over. Going to collect Flanagan, the 01 of Langston. Heavy, heavy damage to a lot of these trucks.
Not 100% sure, but I think the 40 just happened to just, I don't know if there was some net code or what. It looks like from one angle, it looks like the 40 got into him, but then when you actually look at it, it just sees the 23 just really get out of shape and the 40 be able to get by. So I don't know if it's one of those deals where all of a sudden the back end just abruptly moves on fresh tires, or if there is something that helped it, if you will.
Yeah, it's hard to say exactly what happened there, but we are seeing the same thing, Brad. Guys are overextending those trucks in 3 and 4, I think, any of these corners, and they're getting loose on exit, and they're just, cautions breed cautions, because you want to get everything you can get, and you forget there's limitations to the truck. So it's been tough on a few of these guys, but it's another restart for Jolly and Terrell here.
Yeah, the biggest one right there is, I think, the 77 Tim Bills gets a little bit of a reprieve on that one. That last restart, definitely not the one he was looking for, as he had the 98 actually all over the back of him. We're going to be able to line him up again. You're going to have the 08 on the top side. This time you're going to have the 77 Tim Bills directly behind him on the top side. I think that 77 works a little bit better on the top side than we've seen him on the bottom, especially on these restarts.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think he's still searching. I mean, he's incredibly quick. I mean, he is up 25 spots on the night. However, I don't think he's quite found that sweet spot yet with that truck and where to drive it. So if he does, he could be very, very dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. He's up quite a few spots, a little bit further back. The 44 Claude Ferland, he's up 13 spots. Right behind him, the 71 Josh Mayu having a great night. Bernard Person, TJ Bartel, rallying back, up quite a few spots on the night, over plus 20. And then Jared Carr, finding himself right now back in the top 10. As far as Terry Cooper Jr. as well, currently in the 11th position. So both of those drivers having a great comeback, battling through a little bit of adversity tonight, and kind of right now just keeping their head on their shoulders and avoiding the wrecks right now and putting themselves back into a situation for a top 10 finish here.
Let's not stop there either. Let's go to 12th, and Randall Ballard, he is up 17 spots on the night. Rookie here in the 56 truck, having himself a nice showing in 12th place.
Yeah, tonight's been really the big movers of the night. You know, guys been able to come from deep in the field to really make their presence known, and they're continuing to do it. As you know, hopefully we're going to be able to get back to green flag racing here and really solve this one at the end of the night. Looks like we're going to have about 40, 42, 43 laps to go. Hopefully we can go green flag here and really settle this on the racetrack.
Yeah, we have 43 laps left here. Jolly and Terrell, Torgensen and Bills. Then it's Ferland and Coy in row number 3.
Tom, we put you on the spot. Do you got prediction, winner?
I like Jolly and what he's been doing. He's got the lead, so why not? Here we go, back to green flag racing. Sylvain Jolly leading them down into 1. Looks like Terrell getting a really nice jump, but that 08's getting a big push from the 77. Just so much better through 1 and 2 on the bottom is the 08. He's going to come through there. Bobby not giving it up yet. Here comes Tim Bills in the 77.
I just don't think Tim Bills is going to have it right here. Bobby's going to be able to clear him. He's going to be on the top side. He's going to be right in the back tracks of that 08. He's going to be able to cut down. It looks like he's not going to be able to quite clear. Looks like he's going to finally be able to get in front of that 77, put the 08 and the 4 up front, and you're going to have the 98 working on the top side of the 77.
Yeah, 77 might be fast, but he's stuck on the bottom. Torgensen trying to put him back another spot. Coy going to try and follow through as well.
Yeah, you saw that big slide in 3 and 4 there from the 77. He just didn't have the grip he needed, but he's not giving up anything on that bottom side. He's going to continue to try to work it. He is not lifted for sure.
So difficult down here on the bottom. He can't extend out. He is working it for all he's worth, trying to keep that truck underneath him. The 98 looks like he's going to prevail, I think, going down into 1.
Oh, this isn't over. They're going to do this, I think, for the next 10 laps. You see a big push there.
As I say that, Bills. Oh, and there's contact. The 98, I don't know if that was neck code or not. Something pretty serious happening to Troy Torgensen. He gathers it up. He's going to be all right. That's going to allow Coy now to come on, Bills. Coy right down to the inside.
First-hand view of what exactly just happened in front of him. You got to sit there and think, you know, you're right behind somebody, and he'll know whether or not that was net code or whether or not that was somebody just driving a little bit rough. And, you know, when you come up to somebody like that, in your mind at least, you say, okay, well, he's going to run somebody like that. I know exactly how I need to run him. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this third place battle.
That was very odd. It looked like he ran something over. It looked like Torgensen ran something over. I'm not sure what happened. I mean, you would think contact, but I'm telling you, I'm not sure exactly what happened there.
Absolutely not. You know, these guys been running good all night. I wouldn't expect neither one of them to really do anything like that, especially on such a easy portion of the racetrack, if you will. But you know what? Don't look down. Look at that 44, the 08's teammate. That's going to be Claude Ferland. He's currently up to the 5th position and surging at the right time. You know, making up a lot of time. You're going to have the 8 of Bernard Person closing in heavily on the bottom of that truck. That truck is working the bottom, especially on entry to corner.
Entry to corner is just amazing. The speed the 8 has. It just dives down into 1 so violently.
We're starting to see a resurgence right here up front. You know, I've got 98 of Troy Torgensen right there. Terry Cooper Jr., you know, he was up at the front of this field early. He's right now knocking on the door. Right behind him, you're going to still have Jared Carr, and then you're going to have the 40 of TJ Bartel. But you know what? Up front, the battle is starting to heat up a little bit. You're going to have the 08 of Sylvan Jolly. You're going to have the 4 of Bobby Trail. That 77 of Tim Bills. Seems like he's starting to really get into the corner a little bit better, but that 4 truck's going to have the exits from the top side just down. But the biggest man on the move right now, looks like he's doing the best corners, is going to be that 8 of Bernard Person. It's going to be very interesting as this run goes on.
It's all very interesting right now. So many scenarios could play out. That 8 looking better and better, but he's got some really tough trucks in front of him. Ferland, Coy in 4th, Bills up to 3rd, Terrell shuffled to 2nd, and Sylvain Jolly continuing to lead this race. We got about 33 laps left to go.
I see a little bit of lap traffic there as they make their way by the 91. That's going to be Kenneth Schultz as they put him another lap down. You know, Schultz not having the night he wanted. Right now, it's going to be the 08 of Sylvan Jolly trying to hold off that 4 of Bobby Terrell as Bobby Terrell just continues to inch his way in on him as this run goes on. We know Bobby Terrell's got a great long run truck, and we know Bobby Terrell knows how to take care of those tires. We're starting to see it a little bit. Bobby Terrell just kind of lifting a little bit earlier than the lights at the 77. He's getting a great run off because of that, though. What that's also going to do is allow him to save a little bit more tire.
Well, another thing, though, Brad, what about the dirty air? Something the 4 has not had to deal with. Now, a little less prevalent here on a shorter track, but still has, you know, great effects these days. Would that affect him? Is his truck running a little different than it was out front?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to assume that it's going to run just a little bit different, and just the matter of having a different sight line, if you will. You know, you've run this entire race knowing exactly where your marks are, being able to see the entire corner, see exactly where your mark is. And all of a sudden, you got a truck in front of you. You know, your mark is on the wall, if you will, and you can't see it because, you know, that guy's right there. And that's going to be one of those things where you can't just follow him. You can't run the same line he runs every single time. If you do, it's just not going to work. As you know, the battle behind it for third is actually heating up. Richie Coy working the bottom as the 77 Tim Bills is starting to work the center of the track. As we saw in 1 and 2 that last time, he had to really push and get out of the throttle as Richie Coy working the bottom.
Yeah, Richie trying everything he can there. You see him trying to swing it down, get a big run off the corner. He's going to get it here. He's launched out of 2, coming down into 3. He's going to send it down to the low side. 77 trying to hold him down there.
And here we got some lap traffic again with Pepto Joe. These guys continue to go around him. You know, they're going to get right there in the middle of 1 and 2 in this battle. A little bit of contact between the 77 and the 19. That 53 may be used as a pit right here.
77 holding off that spot. He is not willing to give an inch. I don't blame him a bit. We're on 27 laps to go here as you see Coy almost down to the 53. The lap car of Pepto Joe there had a little problem here tonight. Back up front, it's Jolly and Terrell. Still, Terrell hangs right there within striking distance.
And these guys continuing to work over each other. You know, Bobby Terrell just kind of pacing his truck, you know, trying to get everything he can out of those tires. Right behind him, you're going to have Richie Coy and the 77 of Tim Bills. Coy just trying to do everything he can to get by that 77, but what that's doing is that's allowing the 44 of Ferland and the 8 of Bernard Person to close that gap to these two out front.
Torgensen behind them. You got Terry Cooper's right there. TJ Bartell up to 9th now. And Zach McDaniel, 2 spins, still in the top 10, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach, you know, just continuing to just do what he does, and, you know, that's put the bit between the teeth, if you will, and just keep on going. It's interesting. You know, I'm looking through this field. I'm looking at Bernard Person. You know, we saw him making incredible dive bombs, if you will, not to the bottom. You know, he's starting to change it up. You know, he's working the top side. Our battle for the lead is heating up as before. Bobby Terrell, he's there. He's on the back of the 08 of Sylvan Jolly.
He is. Battles heating up all over the track. 24 laps left in this race. Terrell trying to save tire while closing in. Very difficult here. He's got 24 laps to get it done. I mean, not only does he have to close in, but he has to make this pass. That's going to be incredibly difficult to get by the 08.
You just see the difference. It looks like the 08 is much better in 1 and 2, but it looks like the 4 of Bobby Terrell with that little bit higher arc in and lower exit is going to be a little bit better in 3 and 4. Right behind him, though, you're going to have a battle. Tim Bills able to just kind of pull away from the 19 of Richie Coy. The 44 of Claude Ferland is going to be now closed in right there on the back of the 19. So the battle for third is heating up. It's kind of a 4-truck battle right now as we continue to focus in on our lead as Bobby Terrell tries to do everything to make his way and get around the 08 of Sylvan Jolly.
Looks like Brody Hanna out on the track there, having problems. Here comes Ferland, looking to close back up on the points a little bit. Bobby's still ahead of him, but he just can't get it done on the low side there. Ferland's got to try and find a way around on the high side.
It's just so hard because, you know, you go to the inside, what you're doing is you're going to open up the door for Bernard Persons to fill that outside. If you're unable to get that done, you're probably going to lose the spot right there. So that's the risk, if you will, versus reward that we're having on this racetrack right now.
Right now, I'm seeing a big difference in these trucks up front. Jolly looking a little stiff and tight. The 4 looks like he's rolling through the center a lot better. He's getting a big run here. He's right to the bumper of the 08.
It just seems like he doesn't get through 1 and 2 good enough. That's his biggest problem right now, is he's not able to have the speed on exit to really close in on the 08. As you see, the 08's able to maintain that distance, but right here in 3 and 4, really the center in 3 and 4 is where the 4 shines. He's able to close that gap. If he can just manage a little bit better gap in 1 and 2, I think he'll be able to do something.
Yeah, I think you're correct there. This is going to be a battle down to the end. We're under 20 to go. Jolly and Terrell still fighting tooth and nail. Bills, Coy, Ferland, and Person slugging it out for 3rd place. Here comes Coy on the low side. So hard to get the run off the corner, though. Is really, instead of taking that spot, he's going to lose one. That's pretty much what you were talking about, Brad.
Yeah, so difficult on this short track right here. I mean, you really, if you don't have the speed overall to get in front of him, the Bernard Person's going to actually try to get to the outside as well. He may lose 3 positions by trying to gain 1.
He just might, as they're almost touching there, the 19 and 44. You got a feel for Richie Coy getting freight trained here. And here goes Ferland down to the inside. He's not learning that when Coy couldn't get it done, he thinks he can get it done. These 4 are battling tooth and nail.
Now, what that's going to do, though, that's going to allow our leaders to just kind of check out. They've been able to pull out about a 2-second gap, as right now we're going to be 3 wide on the exit at 3, battle for 5th.
Wow, 3 wide there. Ferland gets the job done, but here comes Person. Now on the outside, Coy shuffled back to 6th spot.
And the margin of error here is very small. These guys doing everything that they can to try to, get a little bit better position on it, but not make any type of a bad situation worse, as our battle for the lead is continuing. The 4, Bobby Terrell's working over the back of the 08. It seems to kind of stabilize again. 3 and 4, it's a lot closer, but the battle right now is going to be for 3rd position, as Bernard Person is going to make his way to the inside of the 77 and 10 Bills.
Yeah, Person now taking over 3rd, or attempting to. Bill's fighting back on the high side. You see him wiggling as he pushes that truck as hard as he humanly possible.
Yeah, right behind them, you're going to have the 44 Ferland. You're going to have the 19 side by side as Tim Bills pushes up the track. It's going to give that 3rd position to Bernard Person. Looks like Richie Coy is going to go in a little bit on the top side. Ferland going to continue to fight on the inside. The 98 of Torgerson is going to start closing in, and right behind him, you're going to have Terry Cooper Jr. So you might as well put 3rd to 8th all nose to tail, if you will. And, anything could really happen with these guys.
Yeah, unbelievable action here. I think Bernie's probably got 3rd place at this point. Back up front, Jolly and Terrell, 13 to go. They're still fighting. Jolly holding them off here about a car length back. This is an unbelievable battle up front.
It really is. I got to sit here and think, watching the 4, definitely the air off the 08 is not exactly what he needs. It's probably the worst handling he's getting. I'm seeing him. He's doing still great strides in 3 and 4. The problem is that truck is pushing on exit of 4. He's almost catching the wall. I've seen him 3 or 4 different laps in a row almost actually tag the outside wall. So you got to think that truck might be just a little too tight on exit than what he needs.
He was close there, thought about peeking down to the inside. Bobby is fighting that dirty air. You see him, he got a little loose that time. That's going to open up 3-4 truck lengths here. Jolly going to get a little breathing room for a couple of laps here. We look back, Person. Then it's Bills, Coy, Ferland, Torgensen. You got Cooper Jr. in this mess. I mean, what a battle.
I think you said it right the first time. It is a mess back there, but these guys, they're continuing to just kind of work over each other. They're doing it with great precision in all reality. These trucks, they're starting to get loose. They're starting to get tight. They're pushing all over. But one thing that they're not doing is they're not giving in any inch. You know, right behind them, you're going to have the 40 of TJ Bartell and the 42 of Zach McDaniel. I mean, I think he's passed more cars than anybody the entire night. And at the same time, he's been more sideways than anybody the entire night, continuing to work his way back up into the top 10. You know, just trying to cap off a night or one of those where at the end of the day, you know you've done something.
Unbelievable what he's been able to do, hanging on in the top 10. He looks down low now, that big high line from the 40. We know TJ loves the high line, but we've got to get back up front here. We're on 8 to go. Can the 4 close that extra last spot? He just can't seem to do it, Brad. He can get within 1, but that's about it.
Yeah, he just gets there and then he kind of overextends in one of the corners and he'll lose 5, 6, 8 car lengths. And it's always at 1 and 2. In 3 and 4, he always makes time up. But in 1 and 2, it seems like his truck's just a little bit of hit or miss. We're right there. A very excellent 1 and 2 right now. He's able to really pull tight. So this might be exactly what he needed. If he's going to be able to get through 3 and 4 clean, we're going to have the 91 of Schultz a little bit in front of them. That might be a little bit of an issue for the Ford truck as we see him just get a little bit sideways on the exit at 4 there. So we're going to be able to see, and if he's going to be able to pull it away, you see the 4 center off is really better than the 08 right now.
Wow, he's down. He's got a nose. He can't hold it though, but he's going to try down to the inside. He's going to have to brake a bit there. They're going to go side by side to the line.
You saw right there, the 08 had to back off, had to kind of check up. He pushed a little wide. That's going to give the advantage to the 4. The 08's going to continue to battle back on the outside, though. We're still side by side off 2 for the lead.
Unbelievable action. The 4 will prevail, though. Bobby Terrell back to the point. Here comes the 08. Jolly throws it down low.
It's going to be interesting. I think the 08's not going to have the bite off the corners. The 4 is going to be able to solidify himself as the leader. I think it's only a matter of a couple of corners. The 08's really got to do everything he can to keep the 4 there. As you see right there, the 4 able to just kind of pull away. And I think we're going to see this as the run goes on. The 4 is going to be able to establish a little bit and just kind of pull away. As the 08's going to continue. He's going to dive in really deep. One last chance.
He is trying everything he can. This is heartbreaking for the 08. What a race he has had. But the champion, Bobby Terrell, out here taking the lead. Laid on 3rd place. You got Bernard Person. Tim Bills in 4th. Coy has taken over the 5th position. Ferland in 6th. Torgensen's back here fighting with Terry Cooper. Back up front though, 3 to go. Can Jolly do anything?
I don't know. That's going to be awful tough. You know, we've seen Bobby Terrell all night up front. We've seen him as the run goes on just get stronger and stronger, and that's exactly what we saw here. The 4 truck able to continue to work the bottom of the racetrack as the 08 loses about another two to three truck lengths on that last corner. The 4 continuing right now. He's working the middle of the racetrack, which is smart, not having to necessarily lose a whole bunch of momentum or try to work the bottom, giving himself a little bit of extra cushion to that outside wall as we saw him starting to push up a little bit earlier in this run.
Torgensen and Terry Cooper are going to do battle down to the line as Cooper comes down inside, but it's Bobby Terrell coming through 3, heading out through the corner, through 4. Bobby Terrell going to be your winner here in the Iowa 150. Jolly will take 2nd, Person in 3rd, Bills, Coy, Ferland, Ferguson, Cooper Jr., TJ Bartell, and Zach McDaniel in the top 10.
Whew, what can you say about tonight's race? I mean, you know, we had a little bit of everything. Got a little messy there for a little while with some cautions and whatnot, but I mean, just hard, solid racing. You know, side by side, 2 wide, 3 wide. You know, short track on a 3/4, a little bit over a 3/4 mile track. I mean, great run tonight.
Unbelievable action. That late pass by Bobby. You've seen what it takes. He tried everything. Then he regrouped, he reset it, and he got that nose just a hair underneath. And, you know, he got pushed down to the low side as much as Jolly could do, but just wasn't enough. The 4 showing his dominance. What a season for Bobby Terrell so far.
Oh, absolutely. And this is just going to extend that points lead that he's had. And that's with missing 2 races. So, you know, you're going to have to do something to really get ahead of this Ford truck and really try to win this championship from him. Because right now he's put the entire league and all the competitors on notice. He's here to win this championship, and it's his championship for you to try to take it away from him.
Yeah, he will open up a little bit more here. Unbelievable. Let's get a look in on our results here tonight. You see Bobby Terrell taking that race victory. Your winners this season shown in green. They got to be in the top 5 in the championships, top 25, sorry, in the championship standings to make it into the playoffs. Bobby Terrell, though, opening up a bigger lead. Sylvain Jolly, heartbreak, coming in second, but what a run for him. Just a great job leading a bunch of laps, almost taking this thing. Bernard Person, wow, coming up 19 spots to take third tonight. Tim Bill's up 24 spots on the night. He'll come home in 4th place. It's Richie Coy with a solid 5th place. Ferland, a good job in 6th. Torgensen, Cooper, Bartel, McDaniel, your top 10 finishers tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody having a great run tonight. Very entertaining race tonight. It got just so involved. We had incidental contacts. We had a little bit of tempers going on. We had 3 wide. We had 2 wide. We had guys just, we saw a little bit of strategy, and then ultimately we had a little bit of cautions here and there. But ultimately, just a great night. Definitely shook up the points, and we saw some guys really battle back from quite a bit of adversity throughout the night.
Man, we did see a lot of battling through adversity tonight. It was just fantastic to see. As we look back and see, Jared Carr back in 15th, had a bit of a rough go. None of his doing. He could have been up there battling for this win. Helm, some early problems. Joe Flanagan getting in some problems tonight. Kenneth Schultz, man, he got beat up tonight. Speaking of beat up, Brody Hanna back in 25th. Surprised he made it. Didn't even have to go to the hospital. He was back out on track, Brad.
Yeah, ultimately just trying to salvage as best a finish as he could. Obviously looking a little bit further down the line as far as trying to make it into the championship.
Absolutely. Right now, let's go ahead and let's get right into race interviews tonight, Brad. We'll get a look in on our 3rd place finisher. That's going to be the 8 of Bernard Person. 3rd place tonight, Bernie. What a run for you, man. Great drive tonight.
Thanks, Dean. Yeah, this is probably one of my worst track besides the road. But yeah, it's like a win for me getting up here.
Yeah, I was aware of how you feel about Iowa. It didn't look like it tonight. The one thing right off the bat I'll comment on is, wow, did you have entry, especially into 1? That car was really diving in there and hugging that bottom.
Yeah, we worked on that really hard this week with the setup, getting good entry and trying to get that bite off.
Well, you did it, man. So early on, we're looking at it. Tim Bills is coming through the field like crazy. I think he even gets by you probably very early on through the traffic and everything. But you run him down. We're talking about how much he's coming through. We look at you, you're going by him. I'm thinking, my goodness, you're matching Bobby's time late in that big, long green flag run. It looked like you had a really long run piece and possible, if you started up near the front, maybe a winning truck tonight.
Yeah, it definitely was a long run setup, and yeah, you never know. Bobby's really good here, and it was all the setup. Brian did a great job with the setup, and team effort all the way around. And who knows, but I'm happy where I finish.
Absolutely, as you should be. Going through some of those battles. We've seen, a pack of 6, 7, 8 trucks there. You guys were racing super hard, 3 wide at times, and it was a battle, and you came out on top of that battle. Talk a little bit about that really hard racing, but clean racing as well back there.
Yeah, I saw, Richie was battling with Troy at one time. I think Troy hit the wall. Um, I saw Claude, he was racing pretty hard. I was just waiting for them to decide whether or not who was going to pass who, so I can go, either to the low side or high side, because the car was really good down low in 3 and 4, and I think I passed them up high. I'm not sure, I forget, but yeah, I was just biding my time.
And I forget. I don't know if we can accept that, Bernie. I don't know. Hey, it's got a little bit of the old man syndrome. I don't know. I went by some people, maybe on the low, maybe on the high. Who knows?
Yeah. Hey, when you hit that certain age, you kind of your short-term memory is gone.
Absolutely, man. We know a lot about that right here in this seat. But nonetheless, Bernie, very impressive tonight. Good to see Team Spear up here, Bandit Racing as well. And you guys put up a nice third place finish, and maybe this is a little springboard for you here in the truck series to get you back into victory lane.
Thank you, Dean. Yeah, and it was a team effort. Brian came out with a great set. We ran a lot of laps, and I'm really happy, that I finished third. And it's like I said, this track is really hard for me, and I'm happy to get third.
All right, man. Well, we head to Texas next week. I'm sure you're going to be good at Texas. How you feeling about that?
Yeah, Texas is good for me. It fits my driving style. I still got a ballot with the rest of the guys out here that are really good, and it should be a fun race.
Absolutely, it should. Well, congratulations again, Bernie. Just a fantastic run, highly entertaining, and just even the way you talked about how you approach that group, very professional. I just enjoyed watching you tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks, Dean, and I want to thank you guys for putting on an awesome broadcast, and for Brody for setting up this league, and obviously my teammates.
Absolutely. All right, Brad. That was our third place finisher, the 8 of Bernard Person.
Absolutely, and congratulations to Bernie himself. Right now, I'm standing by with the gentleman that finished one ahead of him. That's going to be the 08 of Sylvan Jolly, member of the Accent LED team. Sylvan, man, second place finish. Just kind of talk us through your night. We saw you early on. Finished, started in the 12th position. Really having to make your way through. Just kind of talk us through. What exactly you were experiencing tonight.
Yes, very stressing. It's very good setup. I start at 12 and go slowly and higher. Puis and finish second and lead maybe 50 laps. Puis Bobby have last 4 laps and pass me. My tire is down. Comment on pourrait dire ça? He's no good. Very good vers his end.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of the best as far as saving tires that you're gonna find, especially in the league. But you put on one heck of a fight the entire night. You were able to go to the top side and muscle your way by him on one of those late race restarts, and ultimately be able to get the lead. It was good to see you out front and whatnot. We go on to Texas next week. How are you feeling about going to Texas?
For Texas, yes, 1.5 miles is similar Charlotte to Atlanta. For me, I love Texas. I don't know is a finish and a third win, man. I want to go.
Well, we're definitely going to be watching for you. You put on one heck of a show tonight. You came in tonight ninth in points. In your rookie season. You're going to make a little bit of. I believe a little bit of advancements, definitely in the championship there. I believe you'll go to a minimum 8th, maybe even possibly to 7th. So, what ultimately was your goal coming into this season? Here with the rookie campaign at FTSR, just top 5, top 10.
I want for top 5. I'm built average 10 and 12 hours per week for the build for my setup for the team. Fait que this week, I work every time parce que I love aussi the short track. Fait que Fait que my team, Claude finished 6th. He's very good for the team.
Absolutely. Both of you guys had a very impressive finish this week. Definitely you guys are putting in the time and doing everything you need to do. We've seen this entire season as you guys coming in rookie, being top 10 in points. You talked about it earlier, Texas, you're definitely going to be circling out on your calendar as far as the track that you like. What I will say is congratulations on the second place finish tonight. I'm going to just turn the mic over to you, let you thank anybody you need to thank, any sponsors or anybody like that.
Thank you very much, Brad, Dean. Puis thank you for my sponsor, AccentLED.com, Accent Superior, and my wife. Bye bye, guys.
Absolutely. You better make sure you thank your wife, because ultimately she lets you do it. But we appreciate you. You've had one heck of a season so far. We look forward to seeing you here in the booth again. But right now, Dean, I believe you're standing by with our race winner.
Yeah, man, I got the 4, Bobby Terrell, who made that pass on Sylvain Joly, breaking his heart, I think. But nonetheless, what a fantastic job, Bobby, working that and masterminding that down and making that pass with 4 to go.
Oh, thanks a lot, man. Yeah, I mean, I had to work for it for sure. I didn't think I was going to get him. I mean, I've been setting him up several laps, just looking to find a weakness or something, and I could see a few places that I was a little faster and just tried to set something up there.
Yeah, and he did it to perfection there. I mean, you had to get in there and just get that nose somehow underneath him. You managed to do it. Now, let's back up just a little bit, though. I mean, you had a large part of the race, nice and comfortable out there. We know how that can be out there, especially for yourself in the clean air. Now you're behind someone. Has the truck changed a little bit in that dirtier air?
It changed maybe just a little bit, but I actually think it was to the better because it wasn't as free. I got a free a couple of times behind him, but it wasn't as free when I was stuck up under him. So it was a little better.
All right, even better. Wow, that's shocking. But so the back to the pass. You're working through 1 and 2. Now we see you in 3 and 4. You look like you were quicker in 3 and 4 for a while. It looked like you were working on 1 and 2, like trying to find where you could exploit it, where you could get a little extra speed.
Yeah, that's. I mean, as you could. I mean, if you were watching it, you could tell what I was doing. I was just backing up a little more and. I guess you'd say turning later and straightening up the corner as much as I could. And it worked. I mean, it took a while, but I mean, I think it would have been really hard to pass him in 3 or 4, and unless I did a slide job or something like that. But that was the main. 1 and 2 was what I was working on to try to get a run on him, because that's when you're trying to pass somebody. I mean, the right way is try to get a run on them and try to get to their quarter panel there and A pillar and try to get a run on him. You've got the spot then pretty much.
Absolutely. He did it the right way. It was fantastic to watch. Another victory. You're going to open up this points lead. My God, Bobby. You got the Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, the Cup Series. It's a heck of a year for you. And we look ahead to next week. I don't see you slowing down. What do you think about Texas?
I'm not sure. I circled it, and like I circled Charlotte, because I think it's one of the tracks in the playoffs. So I'll try to bring some good stuff, see what I got.
Well, you heard that, Brett. He's just going to try and bring some stuff. Bobby, we have more faith in you than you have in yourself, I think. Fantastic championship driver. We know about your Xfinity championships. Now in this truck series, just how much do you want this truck championship?
Oh, I think you know how much I want it. I mean, I've tried 2 or 3 times and just fell short, and I want it, but the thing is, it's a playoff, so I mean, it doesn't matter. With 10 race runoff, you have 1 bad race, and it's probably pretty much over with.
It's definitely a different dynamic. A win can stave off those problems, though, and you've been winning a lot, Bobby, and you win here tonight in the Iowa 150. Congratulations again, man, and the floor is yours.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate what y'all do in the booth and Full Throttle TV for for doing this and broadcasting this. I'm trying to provide you some action. I'd like to thank all the league admins for everything that they do. Just for us to have a place to race, and of course Blackwater for sponsoring it. And shout out to all the drivers tonight. Every one of them gave me room tonight, and I really do appreciate it.
Well, there you have it, Brad. Bobby Terrell, your race winner, a humble champion as always. Man, he is tough to beat.
Yeah, some call it humble. Others are gonna call it something else. Oh, I might be okay next week. Yeah, okay.
A little bit of sand flying out of that truck.
Maybe a little bit there. Bobby obviously one of the best drivers in this league right now, and definitely on a hot streak. I expect him to do very well next week, and that knowing if you're a competitor, knowing he's had this race coming up next week at Texas Circus on his calendar, you got to put in the work.
Man, you do. I mean, that's frightening to hear if you're the other drivers out here. He's had this one circled. He didn't even have Iowa circled, but he's got Texas circled. Oh my goodness. But nonetheless, Bobby, just incredible week in and week out. Let's look in on our championship standings. Should be updated here. And you see there, Bobby Terrell still leading, now up 37 points. Coy doing a nice job tonight with a 5th place finish, hanging there in 2nd. Ferland moves up 2 spots into 3rd. Nearad drops 1. Lane Allen drops 1. Then it's Torgerson, Carr, Jolly, Person, and McDaniel. With Jolly, Person, and McDaniel picked up 4 spots in the points tonight, Brad, with all the action, all the turmoil he had tonight. What a run for him.
Oh, absolutely. He's probably going back tonight, kind of kicking himself for the on-track incidents or the self-spins or anything like that. But at the end of the day, that's what you got to do if you're going to try to get into this championship. You're going to have to just get back to pit road, reset your mind frame, and just kind of go back out it. And he walked away with a 10th place finish tonight. He could have easily given up and finished 25th, but he did what he needed to do, and he's going to come back 10th.
Absolutely. You see Cooper Jr. moves up into the all-important top 25. He's going to pick up 3 spots. Shoemaker moving in the top 25 as well. Jason Spear making a little headway there. And you see some of the other guys, these race winners, Blackner, John Held, they got a ton of work to do. They have that win, but they have to be in the top 25.
Absolutely. I mean, even Brody Hanna, every point counts. Brody Hanna could have easily quit when he had a damaged race truck and he's just kind of riding around on the pit road access trying to just log laps, because he knows that at the end of the day, in order to fight for this championship, you got to be in the top 25 in points, and that's how much these points mean to these guys, because it is tooth and nail.
It really is, and we'll have all that tooth and nail action next week here in the Blackwater Products USA Truck Series right here on Full Throttle TV, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Of course, we have other events scheduled. Tomorrow night, we got a special one going off. I think that's Patriot. Oh my goodness, I've forgotten their name, Brad. But we got a special event with the guys who used to run Vidane Racing over there at Daytona. Going to be great. Be at 8 p.m. tomorrow night, so come out and watch that. We've got the Sunday night. You got the ESRA Xfinity Series, I believe. And on Monday, you got the Cup Series, the Dark Matter Design Series. So a full slate of action right here. So come and check it out. But for myself, Dean Doucette, and for Brad Patterson, that's going to wrap it all up here. And we'll see you right here next time on Full Throttle TV.